What's up, everybody? I'm Wayward Jess, and welcome to Not Your Safe Zone. Tonight, we have two beautiful queens who are going to discuss part 2 of toxic masculinity. We're going to be talking about it from the female perspective. Unfortunately, Miss Cuban Delight couldn't join us because she had to have her boots on the ground and participate in very important protests. And so everybody go ahead and give your love and support to Cuban Delight, of course. And I just want to remind everybody that Saturday, October 30th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is the Stop the Clock protest in Bristol Parkway, California. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's bring up our panelists for the evening. One of them you may know because she has been on here before. We have Lauren, the High Vegan. How you doing tonight, girl?
Hey, y'all. What's going on?
Look, I'm so excited that she can go ahead and join us again. And we have the none other than Forever Fly, Denasia. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on. And y'all follow me if you're not following me on TikTok, and follow my backup, which is Forever Fly Backup.
Period. And y'all go ahead and follow my backup as well, Wayward Just 2, because a bitch got shit to say and TikTok don't like it. So for any of our new viewers or anybody that hasn't seen the previous episode that you've been on, and for people who may not know you, Denasia, why don't we go ahead and do introductions? So I want you to go ahead, tell me who you are, what you do, and why don't you give me your top 3? No, you know what? Give me your weirdest food combo that you like to eat. Who want to go first?
I'll go first. All right. So if you don't know me, again, I am Forever Fly. I talk shit on TikTok about real topics, about real things. Basically bringing everything to the forefront and making people delve deeper into things, because everything ain't always what it seems. I would say my favorite food, my weirdest food combination, probably I eat green olives and waffles. So yeah, that's probably about the weirdest.
Is you pregnant?
No.
Say that one
I
more
just
time.
love waffles and I love green olives.
You eat them together?
Yeah, so like I'll make waffles and then I'll have like a jar of olives next to it, and I'll eat some waffles and eat some olives.
Is you sick?
No.
Did you get into an accident where they scraped off your taste buds? I mean, what happened here?
It's like it's the sweet and the salty together that just makes the perfect combo to me.
That's like a weird ass Caucasian created gusher that I'm picturing right now. Like nothing about that sounds appetizing at all. How did you ruin in one sentence olive and waffles for me for the rest of my life? I want to know. We're forever being forever. All right, Lauren, go ahead. Introduce yourself and let us know who you are, what you do, and what is your favorite weird combo. I don't know if anybody gonna be able to top Denasia.
I don't think so either. I already don't like olives, so for you to say olives and waffles, okay, you got it. All right, y'all. As y'all know, I'm Lauren, the High Vegan. I also talk about real life shit. Weak black men. I don't do coonisms 101. You can follow me at the High Vegan on high.vegan1911 on TikTok and on Instagram. See what I'm about. But I'm always about my people, uplifting my people. I'm all about the love for my people, and I'm gonna continue to be about my people. Now, my weirdest food combination. I'm vegan. So people think everything I eat is weird. I don't really have a weird food combination. I just know when I'm high, I like to eat salty and sweet stuff together. I ain't say I was a clean vegan, I said I was vegan. I'm a dirty vegan. So I could eat Takis and a vegan cookie together. I could, yeah, but it's not like together at one time. I gotta eat my Takis first, then the cookie. But I don't know. I gotta think about it. I was sitting here trying to think like, what is the weird food combination that I eat? And I don't really have one no more. When I was pregnant with my son, I used to dip my double stuffed Oreos into peanut butter because they taste.
That's not weird. That's delicious. That's not weird. That's delicious.
I don't really have none.
That just got me out here looking weird. Oh, okay.
Mad fucking weird.
Okay.
Look.
I don't really.
So,
I'm sorry.
So Lauren, have you tried the that knotted dough thing that people fry up and it's supposed to taste like fried chicken?
Sation? Yes, seitan. I've made it a couple of times actually. Mine didn't turn out like the people on Pinterest, but it was good.
Pinterest is everybody.
Yes, so I did all the ingredients I thought correctly, but it didn't come out looking like chickeny, like you know how when you separate it flaked like chicken. Mine didn't do that. It still looked like fried dough.
Look, what'd you say his name was? Satan? Because Satan is motherfucking mine.
Satan. I don't know how to.
Look.
Don't do me like that. Look, I just deep fried some oyster mushrooms the other day, and them was bayang. Okay, I don't even like mushrooms, but I had to because it's the texture. It's the texture of it. I'm really, really big on textures. And the textures of mushrooms is a little too squishy for my liking. Just a little bit too squishy. So I had to deep fry them real hard in order for me to eat them.
Look, I don't think I'll be able to do that.
You like olives, Denasia. I'm pretty much sure at this point
you eat olives with waffles. You can't say nothing about any of us no more. Never.
I love vegetables, period.
I love vegetables, but not mushrooms.
Mushrooms are so good.
But I'll admit I eat kind of like an 8-year-old child's dream diet would be. I'll go ahead and I got my chocolate covered pretzels right here. I'll eat a whole bag of fruit snacks. Like, I don't care. So okay, I'll go ahead and I'll introduce myself. I'm Jessica. I'm a mother. I'm an activist, and I talk shit on TikTok. I call it out. I got stumped to my own fucking question. So when I was pregnant with my oldest, I would dip McDonald's cheeseburgers into sweet and sour sauce. That's the weirdest thing.
I used to do that with my chicken sandwiches. I used to get cheese and extra mayo, and then I would dip them in sweet and sour sauce. But when I from McDonald's, I used to have to get the 20-piece chicken nuggets and 2 large fries.
Oh, absolutely. And smash it quick. Take anybody's finger off trying to take one.
McDonald's is 2 thumbs down. The only thing I eat is the fries.
I can't do McDonald's anymore, but back when, I thought I was invincible, I was always eating McDonald's.
Right.
Go hard for a cheeseburger. But yeah, so let's go ahead and let's talk about toxic masculinity. Now, I think we've all noticed that, especially on TikTok, we have seen that shit start running rampant. Today, I saw somebody had said that the reason why the divorce rate is going up is because women are allowed to have their own bank accounts without permission from their husbands or fathers.
Permission?
Yeah, in 2021, somebody really did fucking say that. Somebody really did. I got the screenshot and everything. I'll have to send it to y'all on Insta. Look, it'd be fucking stupid out here. But let me go ahead and ask y'all, how would you define toxic masculinity? Because some people's definitions are different. How would you define it?
I would define toxic masculinity as basically any man that feels that he isn't able to be vulnerable with anybody. Like you're high strung, closed off, that's toxic, and anything that's not seen as extremely, if you don't see anything, if basically anything that you see on another man that's literally not extremely manly and it makes you uncomfortable, that is not extremely manly, that's definitely toxic masculinity in my perspective.
I agree with what Denasia says. I feel like when they grow up, when men grow up, there are stipulations put on them that they have to be this strong person. Sorry, y'all, I'm cooking. They have to be this strong individual, and you can't show no emotion, no feeling, no nothing. So with that, is you're not you're not being taught how to love properly. So on top of not being able to show your emotions, you lash out because you don't want to show your emotions, and then you start to show narcissistic behaviors as well. And um, yeah, I think that is my definition of toxic masculinity is not being able to show or be vulnerable with your partner or with anybody else because of the stipulations society has placed upon your shoulders. Like you are supposed to be the protector. You're not supposed to have no emotions. You only supposed to take care of home and that's it. And then you get into a deep ass depression and you now are facing every emotion with anger and not love. So you don't know how to handle that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of y'all. I think what we don't realize is that a lot of women subscribe to the ideology of toxic masculinity as well. And we push that onto our children, our brothers, and because of that, it's a chain reaction. You know, we deal with toxic masculinity, so we think that's how it should be. So we push that onto others, and then we keep creating this cycle that never stops. I feel like toxic masculinity is any ideal that men have to be leaders or hyper masculine. They cannot show their feelings, but also the ideology that women have to be submissive. Women have to know their role. How many times have y'all heard that? Know your role. What do you bring to the table? Can you cook? That to me is also toxic masculinity, that women always have to be done up on 10, looking a certain way, acting a certain way. If women cuss, that's not attractive. If women smoke, that's not attractive. If women do anything outside of being a human fucking being, if we just be a human, it's unattractive. And that to me is also toxic masculinity. And I see that a lot on this app. It's fucking deplorable. It's absolutely disgusting. What can y'all give me an experience that either you've dealt with or somebody directly correlated to you, somebody close to you has dealt with, of toxic masculinity in your own life?
I can go first for this one. Um, Growing up, I'm just gonna give a background. I came from love. My parents been married for 40 years, over 40 years. My grandparents was married for 73 years. God rest their souls. My favorite aunt, my favorite uncle was married for 45, 50 years. So I was shown love. I grew up on love. So growing up, not having that love for myself, I allowed men to treat me any kind of way because I just wanted that same love that my parents had. I wanted that same love that my grandparents had. So I was allowing them to treat me a certain way, to use me, to feel like they needed me and I could go ahead and be drained of not even all of my energy, but my finances, my everything. Like I let them use me up. I done been beat. I have been verbally abused, degraded, even in front of my children. And it wasn't something that I was raised around. It was just the fact that I wanted that same love. So I'm pouring love into them, knowing that they don't love me the same. So I'm messing with these dudes who are coming from a single mom household, not being shown love themselves, and thinking that they gonna love me the way that I love them when they only need me for a little bit. They don't need me for a long time. And the minute that I say I need you, which I didn't, I need you, that's when shit, got hit the fan. My mom dealt with it because my neighbor growing up next door used to beat on his girlfriend and his kids. Like he was very abusive. And one day he told my dad, because my mom, she very opinionated, very open, very outspoken, just like me. And he told my dad before she pulled off, you need to control your woman. And my mom got out there. She stopped that that car and said, motherfucker, I'll knock you down at the kneecaps, all of that stuff. So I've also had friends who dealt with it. But it's all in perception. It made me grow. It taught me a lot. It showed me what I deserve for myself and for my kids. It made me love myself a whole lot more. And now I don't tolerate none of that shit. So when a man approaches me and I start spewing off things, I'm asking you questions, and now you starting to get irritated. You don't know how to respond to it. You're not used to that. You used to somebody just graveling at your feet, and you see that I'm not doing that. You could take that somewhere, because that energy not going to happen here. You bring me positive vibes only. If you're not gonna be a real man, you and leave me, then I don't have nothing to do with you.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think we need to, I think one of the big things, because you mentioned that that the neighbor, I think you said, had a very abusive husband. I think we need to address the fact that like things like this, like obviously not for everybody, but a lot of times things like this happen because men grow up with this idea that they can't show any emotion other than anger. And that's the only way that they can get other people to learn how to love them properly, how to be around them properly, how they want to be, is to essentially beat them into submission, whether it's verbally or physically. And I think that's something that we definitely need to remember, is that it starts with how we teach our men, how we teach our boys to become men. And that goes for men and women. Like we all need, it takes a village. In 2021, we done lost sight of that mindset, but it really does. It takes a village to raise a productive member of society, man or woman or non-binary. And I think your story really touches on that. Definitely. What about you, Denasia?
So what I would say is what I've experienced as far as toxic masculinity, I think that we all have experienced. Um, with basically the number one thing, and I feel like this is like the root of the issue moving forward from adolescence to adult when it comes to men, is when you see little boys crying and you immediately tell them stop acting like a punk. You're constantly telling them that they're not allowed to express
Yeah.
emotion as a child. And we've all, like I said, we all know somebody who's done it. We all experienced it. And they'll tell you, stop crying, stop all that crying, stop acting like a little girl. They
Right.
equate
I was just
that
about to say.
to femininity. You know what I'm saying? Like you're already thinking like, if I show any kind of emotion, that's a female characteristic. That's a female trait. You get what I'm saying? So you're already traumatizing these kids from adolescence, then continuing this process all the way up into adulthood. So and I'm gonna say something about the what the guy, the situational therapist, who, you know, we already got on him about the crap that he was talking about. Um, when he said that you already know that they don't allow us to express our emotion. The thing is, it's not women who's not allowing you to express your emotion. It's how other men want to be seen in front of other men. Because another man is going to be quick to call another man a punk or tell him that he's acting gay or something like that if he's showing his emotion. If he's doing anything that's equated to femininity or being feminine, they're automatically going to say, you know, that's where that toxic masculinity comes into play. And like I said, people don't understand, like it starts at a young age. Dang, you telling all these little boys the same thing. So guess what? When y'all get around each other in school, you're not about to sit over here and cry in front of your friend because your heart was broken by your girlfriend, because they're going to clown you in school. It's going to be the guys that's clowning you in school. Of course, there's going to be some girls in there too. You know what I'm saying? That's going, because like I said, just like we said, women partake in toxic masculinity as well. So some girls in, because guess what? They learned it. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some girls in there who's gonna be clowning him, laughing at him. Oh, he a punk. Like, stop acting like a little hoe and this, that, and the third. But bro, you doing all this stuff. Once they get into adulthood, they already done shut that area off. Like, they already done closed that door. They're not trying to express themselves. They're not trying to be seen as weak or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because you've already shown growing up, you have already been shown growing up that this is a sign of weakness. Expressing yourself and showing emotion is a sign of weakness. So once they get to the root of it, it'll change into adulthood. My my cousin has a little son, and his son was crying one day. And he was like, man, stop crying. You acting like a little punk. Like, you ain't a punk, are you? Are you a little punk? And my uncle like came around the corner and was like, why are you doing that to your son? It's okay for him to cry. Boys cry. If somebody shot you right now, you'll cry, right? If something hurt you bad enough for you to want to cry, you'll cry, right? It's a human trait. We're all human. We cry. Stop telling your son that he's not allowed to cry. Let your son cry and give your son a hug. Stop telling your son that he's a punk if he cries. And I feel like that right there is where it stems from. That's definitely where it stems from. Like I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. Especially when he said, "Oh, women don't want no sentimental man," and this. Baby, we be constantly trying to get y'all to open up to us. Y'all don't want to because of how other men are gonna see.
Who the fuck is you to tell us what we want?
Exactly.
Look, I'm gonna say it like this. It's like you mentioned with like gender roles. You know, what traits are more feminine, what traits are more masculine. People need to understand that just like race, gender is also a social construct. So as far as the women is the caretaker, the nurturer, the emotional ones. Hey, Prince. That is all a social construct. This is not something that is embedded in our DNA or is something that is a part of genetics. Yes, sexuality also a social construct. Because we as humans are the only species that give a fuck about who fucking who. But that's definitely another episode. But so for when people sit there and say like, oh, you're crying like a girl, you're acting like a little girl. How does a girl act? How does a girl act? It's all a social construct. That is all this propaganda that has been pushed for generations, for centuries. But in reality, like, for instance, I've been called masculine more times than I can count because I say what the fuck I have to say. And I am bowing down to no fucking body. That is not a masculine trait. Nope. That's me just being assertive. That's me being me. But because the idea that women need to be subservient to men, and then to push that idea onto a child and say, how dare you have emotions? That's feminine. That's a breeding ground for that toxicity. And you're right. I mean, men mainly do it for other male validation. They don't do it for us because we don't give a fuck. It's like you said, we want you to talk to us. We want you to tell us what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But they do it for male validation. And the women that subscribe to toxic masculinity, they also subscribe to that because they want a quote unquote alpha male. They want the leader of the pack. When really, baby, the leader of the pack that ain't crying, punching holes in fucking drywall, sipping on fucking White Claws, baby, they more broken than the motherfucker that'll tell you that their heart hurting. Period.
Exactly, and they do it for male validation too.
Exactly.
Weirdos.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I want to just add on a little
No, you
something,
good?
like piggybacking off of everybody. So like my dad, he grew up basically, the black sheep in his family. And I guess I'm not gonna say I guess. He didn't receive the love he should have gotten because he grew up south side of Chicago as a black Muslim.
Mm.
You also the black sheep of the family. That means you're being ridiculed and shunned by the rest of your family. So you're going to go and seek validation from somebody, but you're also going to put on the show for everybody else. My dad not good at talking. He not good at, like, when you talk to him, he listens to defend himself. He listens to defend his emotions and say, like, no, I'm right and you wrong off top, because he's not used to the talking. He's used to being hollered at, ridiculed, belittled, and everything else. Everything that we are teaching our sons not to be is what he was taught. No, if you cry, you a little bitch. You a little girl, excuse my language. If you show any kind of emotion to your lady, to your daughters, to anybody, you got to be a little punk. Like, I'm emotionally connected to my mom, and I love my dad, but I'm not emotionally connected to my dad. I know, like, you did what you could as my dad. However, it's a disconnect emotionally, and we had gotten into it so many times, like blew up at each other so many times because we both just alike. But I literally love from the depths of my soul, because that's what I saw, or at least thought I saw, between you and my mama. So I can't sit here, like, he'll sit up there, like, if I start crying, what are you crying for? You ain't gotta cry. You ain't gotta do this, whatever. Or a man telling me, I thought you wear your heart on your sleeve. Okay, I'm showing you my emotions, which is literally what that means. Oh no, I'm gonna come from a different cloth. No, motherfucker, it means I show my emotions. That's what wearing your heart on your sleeve is. Because I'm not afraid to do that. If you piss me off, I'm gonna let you know you pissed me off. If I'm hurt to the point that I am crying, it's for you to listen. I'm not telling you for you to close up and get defensive. I'm trying to talk to you. And a lot of men don't understand the difference between talking and yelling, because they didn't grow up with that. They grew up with being hollered at and yelled at and told so much that they this by their own mothers, by their own fathers.
Absolutely.
And then when we talk about toxic masculinity and these weak black men, we're talking you're disrespecting us and degrading us, but you're not willing to deal with your own traumas that you come from. You have to look at the traumas that you stem from. Look at the traumas that you're instilling into your children. We got to build better. We got to do better by each other, not just within in the kids. You got to do better by each other. You got to learn how to love yourself. When you start to recognize, and it's easier said than done, you got to start to recognize from the depth of your soul what traumas you've been through, why you are exactly the way you are. It's because of how you were raised. It's everything in how you was raised. Okay, thank you.
No, you were hitting the nail on the head. And actually, to kind of swing back to what Prince Ty said, like, I think what we don't realize is how much toxic masculinity kind of spreads into other things. Like, for instance, the idea that if we let men cry, let men wear pink or anything that is deemed feminine, it's going to turn them gay.
Right.
That contributes to the homophobia that is so rampant in our society as well. And that stems from toxic masculinity. That idea that your child being who they are is going to turn them anyway, instead of realizing that this is how they were born, this is just who they are, that's rooted in toxic masculinity. And it's trying to figure out another word for fucking disgusting. I don't have my thesaurus on hand, but I'm gonna probably say it a lot this episode, okay? Because it affects so much. If you look at what toxic masculinity is tied into, it's tied into homophobia, it's tied into misogyny, it's tied into misogynoir, it's tied into colorism, it's tied into so many things that I honestly think that toxic masculinity is a tool of white supremacy.
Definitely.
Because especially for our community, this shit wasn't happening back in Africa. This shit was indoctrinated in us here after we were forced to subscribe to the ideologies of white Christianity, white supremacy, and we were forced to fucking assimilate after we were for centuries. That's when the fuck it started with our community. So I mean, that's just me on my little soapbox for a second. But yeah, I mean, regarding toxic masculinity, what we talked about how women can subscribe to toxic masculinity. And I think a lot of women don't think that because the word masculine's in it. So how can women subscribe to that? Do y'all want to go ahead and give an example of how a woman can subscribe to the ideology of toxic masculinity?
Oh, definitely. Taking examples of what they've seen growing up. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, personally, I have subscribed to toxic masculinity myself. For the simple fact of me personally, I'm my own girl. I have nothing but brothers, and I have 3 brothers that are older than me. So me seeing them not wanting to be vulnerable, not wanting to cry, or being seen as a punk if they do this, that, and the third, I could have internalized that. And I feel like that's what a lot of women who do subscribe to toxic masculinity, they internalize the things that they've experienced growing up, seeing little boys being told in middle school, high school, college, same thing. You know what I'm saying? They want a man they think they want a man that's strong, but then they feel as though, oh, you have to be XYZ in order to be considered strong. You have to be tough, like overly tough. You gotta put people in their place nonstop, like all these toxic things, like thinking, you know how some men think, oh, you shouldn't be speaking to me like you shouldn't have an opinion. If I say what I say, then it should be going according to what I say. There's some women who really don't think that women should have a say so in anything. They really think that men should lead in every aspect, even though they're leading them astray. So definitely, like women can definitely subscribe to toxic masculinity, and they do it every day. We see, and literally they're called pick-me's. That's what we call them. You're a pick-me. You want to be picked. Please pick me. He said this. You think guys want women who wear weave all the time? And well, baby, if he don't like my weave or my wig, he's just not for me. Every man doesn't like the same thing, and that's the thing. They think that these alpha males all have the same way of thinking. That's why they call themselves alpha males. Y'all think that y'all all have the same way of thinking, like the same type of women. You notice like how every man that subscribes to toxic masculinity, um, and they call themselves alpha males, they all like the same type of woman. A fool. That's what they like. They want a fool. They want a dummy that they can run all over, but yet we all know that they're going to be cheating on the one that they run all over with a woman that's not going to take that bullshit. They do it every time. You get bored with that. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm listening to everything man says and being a yes woman, like, having your clothes out, ironing your clothes, having your shoes sitting behind the bed, having you breakfast made, that means nothing. It means nothing. It means that he's going to appreciate it or he's not going to appreciate it. That's what it means. But at the end of the day, they think that abiding by all this toxic shit to be seen as worthy to a man, that's toxic. And women who are like that definitely subscribe to toxic masculinity. Definitely.
Absolutely. I couldn't fucking agree more. And those pick me bitches, as you said, man, I'm gonna need them to go down to the airport, buy a plane ticket, and go straight the fuck to hell. That's what I'm gonna need them to do.
Exactly.
For saying that.
Not to hell, not a one-way ticket to hell.
A one-way ticket to hell. And you know what? They can take the horse that they fucking rode in on with them. I don't give a damn.
Gasoline panties.
On that highway.
Gasoline panties. Yes, ma'am. Look, period. What about you, Lauren? What would be an example of women subscribing to toxic masculinity?
I think Denasia hit the nail on the head. Wanting to be in a relationship so bad that you're allowing them to do whatever to you. You're allowing them to treat you however they want to treat you, making you feel like you are less than, and you're accepting of that. We understand that men are supposed to, lead the household. They're supposed to be head of household, are kings. But we have to realize what our position is too. We're not meant to be destroyed. We're meant to lead as well. How can we have the backs of our men if we're allowing them to do wrongly, if we're not leading them in the right direction? A relationship is meant for you to learn from each other. You learn, it's a circle. I learn from you, you learn from me. It's a partnership. We are one together. Like I tell everybody, I'm a guy. I carry the Eve gene. So you're going to respect, like my mere presence demands respect. So if you think that I'm supposed to lower my value for you, then it's a problem. Because that means I have to cater to your emotions and dismiss my own. You're catering to this toxicity. It's not meant to be in that bad. I don't want to be picked or chosen that bad to where I'm screaming for you to just treat me like shit. I don't want to be treated like shit. So this man, you could correct him and say, hey, I don't want to be treated like this. We too busy conforming to that. And then on top of that, like I said before, it's a lot of women who mistreat their sons. And just like Danae just said, talking about how they punks and how they this, don't teach them the value of being a man and what a man is like. So if they don't even know the value of being a man or have never been taught how to be a man, how can they lead you? They're leading you blindly, and you are just following behind that. A lot of us all been a victim of it. We've all been in that place of, okay, I'm just gonna follow behind you. Turn it down. Follow behind you because your word is law. Your word is the Bible. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. We got to correct them where they at. That's not Absolutely. What the king is meant to be.
So let me ask you, and not to cut you off, but that actually brought up a good point. So let's dispel all of the ideologies of toxic masculinity. And let me ask you, ladies, what in your mind would be an quote unquote alpha male or a real man? Like, because we hear all the time on TV, on the internet, we hear what a real man should be, but really that's just a whole bunch of toxicity and therapy that needs to be had in you know, and it's a ticking time bomb. So for the men that might watch, let's go ahead and let's hear from the horse's mouth. What would you say that would constitute as a real man or an alpha male?
In my opinion, in my personal opinion, a real man, alpha male, is a man who truly understands that he doesn't have to and shouldn't have to lead alone. A man who understands that you're supposed to be leading your family in the right direction, not leading your family astray. That's what a lot of, a lot of these men who claim that they're alpha males, they don't understand. Yes, you're supposed to lead. Yes, you're supposed to be the head of the household. You are supposed to be the head of that household. You know what I'm saying? As a man, because you're a protector. You know what I'm saying? You're not the head of the household just because you're saying I'm the head of the household. Nobody tell me what to do. Well, if you want all the responsibility, take all the responsibility if you want to, but it's a lot of things that these so-called alpha males don't want to take the responsibility on. And we already know that number one thing is housework. But you know, y'all get what I'm saying. But my whole point is a real man knows that he doesn't have to lead alone. There's you have a king and you have a queen. Okay? It's not the king and the peasants, the king and the court jester. You have a king and you have a queen. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like the queen don't be running plays and stuff too, having insight and getting information. That's how you run a kingdom, okay? Not just the king, his queen sits right beside him, right? She's not sitting behind him, the queen is sitting beside him. So if you're really running around here trying to act like you're an alpha male, or you want to portray yourself as an alpha male, and you think that, oh, it's all about me, nobody else has an opinion, you're a peasant. You're not an alpha male.
And that's my thing. That's my thing. You can lead me, but you damn sure ain't gonna control me. I feel like a real man is going to be secure in himself.
Yep.
And in me.
Yep.
That he not gonna be sitting there worried about what I'm doing every minute of the day, trying to micromanage me. Just like I'm not going to be sitting there trying to micromanage him. And if I sit there and I say, look, I understand that this is my department, but I need some help in this department. You go ahead and say, how can I help? Not sitting there bitching, talking about how you do this and you do that. Well, motherfucker, I do this and I do that. You need to understand that this is a partnership. And we're one Latin, the other give. And it goes both ways.
Yep.
It is not a thing. Give all of my emotional and physical effort, but all you got to do is go to work and fuck me sometimes. I think not. If I wanted two thrusts and some disappointment, I pull out my nightstand drawer, motherfucker. I'm saying. So that's my thing is I don't need, if you're going to lead me, don't try to control me. And I'm going to be me. Don't try to change me. I cuss all the fucking time. You know, I hold it the fuck down. Sometimes I'm like, no, this is how it's going to go. But a real man's going to trust my judgment. Because if you don't trust my judgment, what the fuck you doing with me anyway? If you don't trust how I raise my kids, how I hold up my household, how I take care of my financials, what the fuck you doing here anyway? Then you ain't here for me. You here for the pussy. And I don't want it. Like, because understand, I can go and get my own pussy. I don't need your ass. So that to me is what what a real alpha male is somebody who doesn't need that constant male validation, somebody who doesn't need something to control. Because understand that, like, my passion, aside from my children, is this movement. So if I go, hey, I got a protest, I need you to go ahead and watch the kids, motherfucker, guess what you doing? You watching these motherfucking kids, and you better do the dishes after dinner. Period. And that doesn't mean that you're emasculated. That just means that we're working together. And that's what a lot of men don't understand, is that we need to work together. Exactly. It needs to be a cohesive unit. Lauren, what the hell you eating? I know you vegan.
So look,
good because you just go do look good.
I promised my son I was gonna do Chinese tonight because I have bought some fortune cookies from the store. So I went on and did a little stir fry for me and Molly. And then my son got some teriyaki chicken and stir fry with shrimp in it. So I just I'm eating.
I'm coming over. This motherfucking live right now, and I'm coming over. Why don't you go ahead and tell us your idea of a real alpha male?
A real alpha male is David Banner. Judge me if you want to.
No!
David Banner. Yes.
No!
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Look, yes, David Banner. Everyone's going to send this to David Banner so that Lauren can live her dream and make him her husband. For real.
No, but for real, like,
we're gonna have to set that up.
I'll sit there. Okay. He's the sort of person that I'll sit there and actually be like, okay, yeah, that's true. Like that's a word that I'll be willing to follow. That's somebody that I can learn from. And I also feel like with his women, even though he's not open about it, which is what I also love, like when he don't have him out in the eye because he knows what his status is, he learns from them too. It's a partnership. I need somebody, because I'm an alpha woman. I'm an alpha female. I can take care of my household without having a man. It didn't matter what my struggles was. I was going to make it work for my children. But an alpha man is, to me, is somebody that I can learn from. Somebody who sees my passion and my dreams and helps me work towards that, and vice versa. Not, I'm going to drain you of your energy and your resources. We are going to do this as a partnership. You see that I'm the queen to your king. As Denasia said, it's not meant for a queen to be with a peasant, especially when you know what your status is. Especially when you know and you hold your head up high and you know it's more than being a provider for me. I need you to do more than provide. We're equal, in my opinion. We are together. It's not you are higher than me and you are God. We are equal. It's a partnership. What can we do together? How can we grow together? You can lead me. I can lead you. You should be able to trust me enough to know that I'm not steering you in the wrong direction. And I should trust you enough to know that you're not steering me in the wrong direction. I need you to also be a protector. Because sometimes I get tired of protecting myself, and you should know by now that I'm going to pop for your ass. You understand? I'm a go to war for you. I'm going to fight for you. I want you to do the same for me. So when I lay next to you, I feel safe. You are my safe haven. I should be your safe haven. You should be able to unload all of your emotions on me, but not in a way that you're condescending to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. I can heal you just like you can heal me.
Talk to me, not at me.
Exactly. We can have the communication is real big with me. I'm not for that arguing. I'm going to talk to you. And if I feel like it's getting there to an argument, it's not need to have, and we don't need to be together. Because it's more, we don't need to argue. Now, if we do have a disagreement and it comes to the arguing, we can calm down, come back and say, look, I apologize for this, but this is where I'm coming from. I want you to come from love when you talking to me. Just like I'm going to come from love talking to you. Show me as, like, respect me as your queen. And if you want to add another one to the mix, that's fine too. David Banner, we can do that.
Look. I'm gonna start a petition. I'm gonna start a petition so your ass can meet David Banner. Look, you be so insufferable if you do.
And then, like, I see Malcolm X as an alpha male. You saw Martin Luther King. He was promiscuous, as to where Malcolm X loved his wife, saw the equality of his wife, and poured love into his children. He didn't show us nothing else. He poured love into his people and poured love into his family. He didn't play about his family. That was an alpha man. I can only compare from what I see and what I feel off of these people. Those are the only examples that I can give at the moment as to what, to me, an alpha man is. Because me being an alpha female and thinking that I can do it all, I know for a fact that I can't do it all. But I know that he could be my equal. He could be my partner. And I'll listen. I'll be sitting there just like this. I'm ready to suck the skin off that thing just from your words.
I'm done.
I do that? I can do that. Is you trying to get, what do you want me to do? I hate feet, but I'll rub your feet. That's what I'm, the kind of man that I think an alpha man is. If you can make me do that, you are alpha. I'll be your omega, but you could be that. That's what it is to me. That's what it is.
Man watching this, Lauren speaks solely for herself. I will never touch your fucking feet. Understand and believe that.
It was just
never.
I hate feet, but David Banner is an exception.
Look, I can't even say nothing because my husband be having some crusty ass feet, and them motherfuckers gonna be in my damn bed. And I got the foot spa, and I take care of them shits because ain't about to be ripping up sheets in my damn bed with them damn.
You better than me. You better than me. I'll give him $50 and tell him to go to the salon, but I ain't touching them motherfuckers.
And look, and we talking about toxic masculinity. He don't feel as though men should be at the salon getting their feet done. So yeah, my husband, he subscribed to some of that shit sometimes.
Oh, see, I'll be like, let's go together. Let's go together. They always feel better when you get to do it together. But yeah, so we talked about what our ideas of a real alpha male is. And I had an ADHD moment. Look, y'all should be proud of me. I got an hour in without having one, but I'm having one now. So, nope, it's gone. It is gone, like gone with the motherfucking wind. Gone like an NSYNC song. Gone. But so I was gonna move on to the next and anything else. Anyway, so we talked about what a real what our beliefs of a real alpha male is. What is something, I know, Denasia, you talked about how when you were younger, you kind of struggled with those ideas yourself. What is something that you would say to your younger self to try and steer clear and be more aware of toxic masculinity, or how to handle it when you've come across it? What is something that y'all would say to your younger selves?
Honestly, my younger self, I would definitely tell my younger self to encourage people in general, but definitely boys and any boy or man in my age group to express themselves. Like, encourage it much more. Like, let them know, like, I'm safe space for you to talk. Like, if you want to talk about something, like, you shouldn't constantly have to hold things, and you shouldn't constantly have to hide your emotions or hide your feelings. Because at the end of the day, we all know that we grew up with some toxic ass parents, and our parents subscribe to toxic masculinity as well. They damn sure did it. And I feel like we would be a better place as a society, if we were each other's piece from the start. So, that's what I would. That's what I would.
I love that. Be each other's piece from the start. I think that's so important. And even though we may not be each other's piece right now, that's still an attainable goal. That is still something that we can do. We can still strive to be each other's piece. Lauren, what about you? Or you want me to go so you can finish too?
No, I'm good. I had a rice cracker. So
you and them crackers.
The cracker. Okay, stop making me act a nut. Okay, I would tell my younger self to go with my gut instinct. Believe in my gut feeling. If you feel like it is, then that's what it is. You cannot help everybody. You cannot help everybody no matter how much you try. And in my generation, I'm about to be 33 next month, November 14th. So it was never a thing for.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said what? How old you finna be?
33. November 14th.
I'm done. I'm gonna call my white mom right now and cuss her the fuck out. Look, I got my phone. I'm gonna call her right now and cuss her the fuck out. White recessive genes that be making me age like shit. I'm done.
You a year older than me, Lauren.
I swear.
You said what?
I said you a year older than me.
Okay.
I thought you was younger than me.
The same age. We was the same. I thought we was all the same age. I knew I had to be the oldest female, but
I just turned 30. I turned 32 in August. So.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be the same age for a little bit. But I would tell men in my generation, even though they not trying to hear it, even though they it's going in one ear and out of the other. It's okay to be you. You could be open with me. We don't gotta argue. I was a little stubborn back then, and I didn't know nothing either. But everything if I knew then what I know now, things would have been totally different. So if I had the chance to travel back in time, I'd just sit up there and get everybody a hug, because you need it. It'll be random, but everybody needs that love. Everybody needs to feel that love. Understand that I am here for you, but not too much as to where you just draining me of my energy. I want y'all to be able to talk to me. It's okay to show your emotions. You don't have to use anger for your sadness. You don't have to use anger for your depression, for your anxiety. You can talk to me. Cry. Let it out. Crying is the cleansing of the soul. It's okay. It's okay to cry. We was all taught that that men ain't supposed to do that. That's a lie. That's what I say. That is a lie. Be you. Show that emotion. Show your ways. Show who you are. It's okay to be in touch with your divine femininity. It's okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
They got tear ducts for a reason. They cry.
Right. It is okay. It ain't like it's gonna cry. You gonna cry diamonds and it's gonna hurt. You're not crying shards of glass. Hold on, sit down. It's okay. We here to support each other.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think for me, be more of an advocate for mental health. I used to think that one of the things that I used to subscribe to toxic masculinity real bad was that only women went to a therapist. Only white women went to a therapist. That wasn't something for me. That wasn't something that
Yes.
men should do, or especially not Black men. Um, until I learned about the trauma that comes with being a Black man, until I had Black sons, I was like, nah, we need, like, please, mental health, because it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to, even if you are okay, go to therapy. I mean, you change the oil in your car. You tune up your car. Go ahead and tune up your mind too by going to therapy. It's okay. And I think that is something that we really fall flat on, for letting men know that it's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to not be okay. Mental health awareness, definitely, in the ideology that men can't go see a therapist. That's toxic masculinity. And that is something that I had to actively challenge, especially when I went ahead and I had my sons, because I want my sons to be not only physically at their top, but I want them mentally, emotionally to be at their top too. I want them to have emotional intelligence, because that's part of the reason why this happens so much. That's why this is so common, is because men aren't taught emotional intelligence, emotional maturity. They're told to hold. They're taught how to hold it all in and pretend like there ain't nothing wrong, and that's not. If history has taught us anything, that's not productive. That does nothing but harm not only men, but it harms everybody. So that's definitely something that I would tell my younger self, is be more of an advocate for mental health.
I think that, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I
Go
think
ahead.
that within the Black community, we are taught that we have to have this strength. We are automatically strong because of everything that our ancestors have gone through, what we have gone through, what our parents have gone through, so on and so forth. All of the stuff that keeps getting handed down to us from generation to generation. There was a stipulation put on the Black community that if you were to go see anybody, you were crazy. And the truth is, we need that. We need that mental health checkup. Like you said, we need that therapy. We need that in order to relax our mind and to free ourselves from the traumas, because if we're not talking about it, we're going to continue to relive it, and then we're passing them traumas down too. We want to break the generational curses. So yes, we need that therapy. I understand by, okay, I want to go to therapy, but it's not many people that look like me, so I don't feel like they understand. Shit, I've been there. But there are Black therapists out there. It's not a lot of them, but there are so many, and even some that offer free help,
You know
even if
what?
you can't afford it.
Let's talk about that, actually. The fact that toxic masculinity has affected men so bad that there is not enough um people in these positions to so, so that men have less resources than we do. For instance, Black men and mental health care. How many Black therapists are there out there? And if you sitting there and you talking about, if, like, do you feel more comfortable talking about what you're going through with a man, or do you feel more comfortable talking about it with your girls? Generally, you feel more comfortable talking about it with your girls if they're your real friends. Like your best friend. So I think that's an important thing to talk about. The fact that, men won't get into these fields because they're deemed as feminine, when and because of that, it limits men's resources, such as um such as therapists. What do y'all think about that? Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Yes. Um, I think that I think that um, black men always want to be viewed as strong. So they go to, if they want to talk to somebody, they go to the person that they're closest to, which is usually their best friend. But your best friend not gonna always have the answers either. Yeah, I'm gonna go to my girls, but I know it's deeper than that. Usually I'm only going there to make sure that I'm not tripping. I'm not losing my mind. I'm not I'm not doing something irrational. But when it comes to my issues, I know that I need to speak to somebody. And black like men in their masculinity, like you need to talk to somebody too. Your friend can't sit up here and heal you. It might be something that you need a diagnosis for, something that can be helped. There are some who practice holistic things because I'm not into the medicines since I've been vegan. But there are things out there to calm and relax your mind on top of being able to talk to somebody and them leading you in the right direction. You could get a life coach. It's a lot of black life coaches out there that don't have to necessarily put you in the same stipulation and assess you as a psychologist, but can give you the real like a friend would and still be able to tell you what is wrong and still lead you in the right direction. It's okay. Like black men, it's okay. It is okay to talk to somebody. Society put this shit on your shoulders to make you feel like you just gotta be strong 24/7, and that is not the case. Even we can't be strong. We cannot always carry the weight of the world of our shoulders. You need it to be uplifted. Let somebody help you take it off of you. You're gonna die too quick, and we don't need that. We don't need that. They already killing us. Don't kill yourself. Show yourself a lot more love by going to seek the help that you need. Your friends ain't always got it.
Absolutely. And I think that's I don't think that's said enough. I don't think it's said enough by our men who are elders to their sons, to their nephews, and I don't think it's said enough by us either. What about you, Denasia? What you think?
Let's see, I feel as though it's a lack of black men in that area specifically. For one, they've already internalized and think that they don't need it. Um, Number two, hell, in the black community, that's what they always told us. We don't need it. So, they got it on the toxic masculinity side. And then they also got it at cultural wise. You know what I'm saying? So, when a lot of people think that that's just not a thing that black people need. But as, and where we are right now, we looking like, baby, we need that. We need that expeditiously. Like we need that. And um then there's also the lack of communication. They don't know how to communicate emotionally through words. You know what I'm saying? Like letting somebody know where they're coming from, how they're feeling. You know what I'm saying? And of course, there are going to be some guys that'll watch this and be like, well, I'm not that type of guy. We're talking about the majority as a whole. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to sit over here and pick and do a whole survey of please click yes or no. We know that the majority of women are talking about these things, and we have to go through these things with our significant other, who are men. You know what I'm saying? And black men specifically. We're talking to you like, what's going on? Like, is something bothering you? First of all, as women, we already know when something's bothering you. So you can sit over there in front like there's nothing bothering you. We know. That's the reason why we're asking you. Something is bothering you. I can tell by your body language. Your body language says it all. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of the hatred that some black men have against other black men would be resolved with words, but they don't know how to express those emotions and it turns into violence. When you don't know how to express yourself emotionally, You express yourself violently.
I
At
feel
the
like
end of the
that's
day.
also, I feel like that's also, sorry to cut you off,
I
but
know
I
you
feel
could.
like that also happens with Black men and Black women, because
Mm-hmm.
you're not taught
Yep.
to convey your emotions properly and healthily. This is why we have issues like domestic abuse. This is why we have these rocket raccoons that go ahead and find themselves a white girl or a non-Black girl, who can be just as problematic, but they're not talking. They're not talking. And Black women, we want you to talk to us.
Right.
Whereas someone else might be more submissive. And so they, instead of talking out the issues that they had growing up, whoever hurt them with Black women, they go ahead and they shit on all Black women and end up with somebody outside of their race. Now, I'm not saying obviously you can be with whoever you want, just don't shit on Black women while you do it, especially when you come from a Black woman.
Right. And the thing is, when it comes to situations like that where they feel as though they're finding peace or love in a non-Black woman, what they fail to realize is that you're still the same person. They're just helping you mask your trauma a little bit better. You're just masking the trauma. You're not really dealing with it. You're not really acknowledging it. You're not really acknowledging the toxicity. They're really just letting you have your way, so they don't bring up the things that could actually make you a better person out, inside and out. You know what I'm saying? So you want somebody to be submissive, you want somebody not to bring up the the tough questions, but yet you're still not expressing yourself and you're still drinking yourself to death. You're still not expressing yourself and you're still numbing the pain with narcotics and different things like that. So at the end of the day, are you really doing better if you still have to let a little bit of that trauma out by saying this is the reason why I don't deal with Black women? When Black men say things like that, to me, the first thing that pops in my head is unspoken trauma. Like it has to be unspoken trauma because I don't know you. I've never experienced you. I've never had a conversation with you, but yet you have this perception of all Black women because you have underlying issues, trauma that you have not recognized or acknowledged. So you think that it's just, oh, it's just got to be Black women because I don't have to deal with that over here. You still got to deal with it because you're still speaking on it. If it's something that's not bothering you, it wouldn't come up. So at the end of the
Hurt
day,
people
it's
hurt
still
people.
trauma that you have. Right. It's still trauma that you have, but you're just burying your trauma. Because like I said, and one thing people don't one thing people that should definitely want to recognize is that when we were talking about those pick me's, they definitely subscribe to toxic masculinity. We already said that, and white women are on the forefront of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No lies detected there at all. Um, so we talked about what you guys would tell your younger selves, but for any man that's watching, man, boy, whatever, if you're a boy, please, I hope you're not watching because I'll say some foul shit. This is 18 and over. But for any man that is watching, that is struggling the with toxic masculinity, with trying to break out of that shell, trying to break those bonds, what is something that you ladies would want to tell them, as from your perspective as a woman, to help them want to dispel this idea, this box
What
that
I
they
would
with toxic
Me
masculinity?
personally, the advice that I would give them is if they've had a traumatic childhood growing up, go talk to somebody, go speak to a therapist. They have groups of people you can talk to, people who have similar issues or similar trauma. Talk about it, get it out. Don't let it eat you up inside. Another thing is, one thing that I definitely want men to understand moving forward is that every woman is not the same. Every woman's not the same. Every experience that you have is not going to be the same. It's not. So, and also stop wanting women to conform to your expectations. Find you a woman that has the characteristics of the woman that you're looking for, that the woman that you're interested in. Because you trying to mold a woman into what you want is not going to happen. You trying to mold a woman into what you want is not going to happen. Yes, a
Period.
woman is going to be, so you can find a woman that's going to be submissive to you, but unless you're worth submitting to. If you find a woman, if you know for a fact that you're doing XYZ, you're cheating on her, you talking to her any kind of way, and she just being submissive, you know for a fact mentally and emotionally, that's not something that you want. It's boring, it's whack, it's corny. And those are the same women that y'all say y'all want so that y'all can continue to roll over and do whatever y'all want to while y'all packing on more trauma and having this mental capacity that, or have this mentality that women are individuals that you should be able to run all over. You're not. And that's the simple fact that you have high strung women of all ethnicities and races. There's white women, Asian women, Hispanic women. You're not going to say whatever you want to say to them. You're not going to, because they're going to get on your case. They're going to get on you. A lot of times that some of these men want, another thing that I want men to understand is that women of different races have not experienced you. If you're not within their race, they have not experienced you. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about this on my live last night about how Black men are comforting. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are comforting. Black men will comfort you and let you know all the things that you want to hear while comforting you. And then they'll dip on you. You know what I'm saying? It's men of all races that do that. But when another thing that I want a lot of men to understand is that when it comes to Black women, we're not bashing you. We're not talking down on you. When we say something about Black men, that's really all we've experienced. We can't speak on other. They're Black women. Do you know that Black women are the least likely to date outside of their race? Out of all ethnicities and all races of women, Black women are the most loyal to their men. So when we speak on Black men, we're not bashing you. Oh, you always got Black men in your mouth. What other men should we have in our mouth? I haven't experienced them. I don't know them. So,
well, and it's not even
keep an open mind.
I think part of a big thing that is common in toxic masculinity is that accountability is taken as an attack. How dare you go ahead and hold a man accountable when you're a woman? And so they automatically get defensive when we talk about our experiences. I mean, we saw it with the all men movement.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Not all men. Now we seeing it. Not all Black men. No, it's not all Black men, baby. But it's enough to. It's a fucking issue. It's
enough to raise some red flags. Exactly.
And this doesn't mean that we think Black men are shit. We don't sit there and say Black men ain't shit. This, that, and the third. No, we don't. And we're the first ones that sit there and go out and march and fight for our Black men whenever they are done wrong. It's called accountability, baby. And just because your mama didn't fucking teach you that, if you grown as hell, you can start learning it.
Yep.
It's the fact of, look, this is how you hurt the Black female community. This is how your actions hurt our community.
Right.
So instead of getting defensive, hit dogs will always holler.
That's true.
So don't sit there and say, well, not me. Motherfucker, if you got to say that, then it is you.
It is definitely your ass.
It's called accountability. Exactly. Look at yourself. Lauren, what would you say to the men that are watching that are trying to break away from toxic masculinity?
I'm sorry, y'all. What in the world is going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
like it's making y'all like, I don't know what's going on with my phone. It's making y'all talk in slow motion. So y'all
Take
is
your
literally
take
like,
your
it's like a
AirPod out and put
deep
it back
voice
in.
and y'all talking in slow motion. Like it kicked me out and then I came back in and everybody in slow motion. But
Put it back in. Can you hear me?
I might have to leave and come back out or refresh. But I tried doing that twice and it still sounds the same.
Take your AirPod out and then put back in.
Would you said what?
Take your AirPod out and then put
I
it back
took
in.
that. I did that too.
Oh,
It
you did
might
that
be
to
your
me.
Wi-Fi.
And I took my AirPod out and put it back in, and it stopped. Because when I came back in, Lauren was talking in like a garbled slow motion, like real slow.
And look, y'all still talking in slow motion. It's still in slow motion.
Okay,
Oh,
exit all
dang.
the way out and then come back in.
All right, I'm about to come back and go back in.
Okay. While we're waiting for Lauren to come back, because Kevin, my FBI agent, he does not like it when we sit here and tell the truth. He's always got to fuck with us somehow, technically. I'll go ahead and say, to any man that is watching, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be your true self. There's nothing to be ashamed of if you like wearing skinny jeans, if you like listening to Celine Dion, if you need to cry, there is nothing wrong with being your true self.
Right.
And you can't expect anybody to love you unless you are your true self. We can't love somebody we don't know. So that would be
There we go.
No, we got her back.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Ask me the question again.
To all the men watching, or who may watch in the future, what is something that what is some advice that you would give them so that they can, since if they're looking to break away from this toxic masculinity ideology?
Okay. I am tapping into my spirituality. Shadow work, doing root work, doing like getting to the bottom of where your traumas are. Recognize where your trauma started, what triggers you. Write those down so that way when you do, because I'm not telling you it's a choice. I think you need it's okay to talk to somebody. So when you do go ahead and seek a therapist or seek therapy, you know exactly where to start. You can write out exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it. And this way you can produce it better to this person so they can better understand and help you out a lot better. It's okay. It is okay to talk to somebody. It is all right because your mental health will make your physical health better. And overall, your whole entire body, your well-being will become better. And it's okay. Like, figure out exactly where your traumas lie. It took me a while, and I'm not man. I've been told I was masculine because I got a short haircut and I'm very outspoken. But you gotta realize and recognize where your trauma started. So this way you're not projecting your traumas. Okay, thank you, Molly Grace. You're not projecting your traumas onto everybody else. You're not projecting your traumas into your next relationship. You're not projecting your traumas onto your children. You write everything down. Writing can also help you release a lot of tension. It helps a lot. Write, then talk. Write down exactly and feel exactly how you want to say it. If you angry, write it down. That way you are better prepared mentally in order to talk to somebody. She had me looking like a trap dude. Could have got me a girlfriend looking like that. I was looking like I was from the trap. So black men, if you listen and know that I love you. and I'm speaking from love. Write down if you don't feel like you're able to talk to somebody right now, and once you build up that courage to talk to somebody, write it down. Journaling is not a feminine trait. Not only women journal. I have my son journal what he cannot tell me, so that way he could come back and talk to me later on. It's okay to journal and write down how you feel, because sometimes you may not be able to talk to nobody. But once you get that off your mind and off your chest, you'll feel a whole lot better. And that'll give you better opportunities and better reasons to go and talk to somebody. It gives you more power in your voice. Go seek black people seek help. Black men seek therapy. It's you're not crazy if you do so. Men, you are not crazy if you go and talk to somebody. It's cool. It's okay. It's okay. I love you. That's it.
Look, and I think that is a great note to end this on. It's okay to get help. It's okay to be yourself, and it's okay to get therapy and challenge the traumas that you have faced in the past. Um, I think I think this conversation was very. I always learn something on these lives. You know, I want to help spark these conversations so that other people will be inspired to have these conversations at home. But I always learn something whenever I have anybody on. And I definitely learned a lot tonight from you ladies, and I appreciate you guys' voices. Um, I think it, I think that people who watch will definitely have a lot to discuss. And I would also encourage any men that are watching, reach out to your brother, your friend, your dad, your uncle, you know, the men in your life, and have these conversations. Talk about it. Because that's the only way that we're going to be able to end this disgusting ideology. Us women can talk about it, but toxic masculinity doesn't affect us the same way it affects y'all. Y'all need to talk about it so y'all can dispel it, and we're going to be there to support you in any way we can, and we're going to try to dispel it on our end. But y'all need to do some of the work too. And it's okay to have these conversations. So ladies, I want to thank you so much for coming on. If you just want to hold on just for a little bit, after we end the live, we'll talk backstage and shit like that. What did y'all think about tonight? What'd you think about the conversation?
I thought it was great, and the conversation that needed to be had.
Absolutely. Lauren, what about
Oh, I
you?
love it. You know, I always enjoy it. No matter how deep we get, no matter how goofy we are, including me, because you know I don't care.
Look.
It's always a joy. These are conversations that we need to have, and these are tough conversations. But tough conversations have to be had. In order to get a better understanding, you have to have these conversations. We're not going to grow if we just continue to sweep everything under the rug. We know we got an issue. We know we have an issue. We can't understand what you're going through unless you let us know. We can only speak on what we observe. We can't speak from a male standpoint. We just know what we've gone through when it comes to toxic masculinity. So it was deep. I appreciated it because we we come from love. We not degrading you. And if you were listening and taking offense to it, then it was a message you needed to hear. It was something for you. And that's okay too. It's okay. If you need to talk to me, again, I'm hi.vegan1911 on TikTok and Instagram. I'm a little banned on TikTok right now, but you can always hit me up on Instagram. I'll talk to you. I'll listen to you. If you want to call me FaceTime, don't be creepy. But I'll talk to
Period.
you. I'll listen to you. I don't mind. I don't mind. Let me sage. Let me know that you like give me a little time. Let me know you need to talk. I'll go sage around the house, sage myself. When I talk to you, I'm gonna send you sage energy. Talk to me. I'm open for it. I'm open for it. We need
Absolutely. And
these
I think it's very
conversations.
important. I think it's very important for us women to have these conversations on a public platform, just so that men know that we support them, that this isn't 1950 anymore. Men can be who they are. And women will love them for that. I think it's very important for us to show our support and for us to call out, the pick-me's. I know Denasia does it damn near on a daily basis. She's like, fuck
And it'd
you
be funny.
and fuck you. That one where she's like, nobody cares. I'm like,
I'm gonna hit him with it every time.
No way. I was
time.
hollering. Look. But I want to thank you ladies for coming in and showing support for men who are going through something like this and calling out the pick me bitches that sit there and also subscribe to this ideology and breaking it down, because we don't do it enough. Toxic masculinity gets skimmed over, not realizing that it branches into so many things, that this is also something that we need to fight against, and it's so important to discuss. Y'all hang tight for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and we'll talk a little bit backstage, but thank you ladies so much. All right, everybody, that was Toxic Masculinity Part 2. Next week, we are going to have Toxic Masculinity Part 3. It's going to be the final set. This time, we are going to have both men and women discussing this and breaking it all the way down. I hope you guys go ahead and tune in. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, hit that little bell so that you get the notification. And y'all have a good night. Make sure you love yourself. And remember, don't be a dick.